being organized. I invite Dr. Amit Patil, please.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you all into this IGFRI Diamond Jubilee online lecture series 2022 on entrepreneurship development in processing fodder and allied crops. This lecture series is being organized by Agribusiness Incubation Center, ICAR, Indian Grassland and Fodder Research Institute, Jhansi, in collaboration with Indian Society of Agricultural Engineers, New Delhi, and Range Management Society of India, Jhansi. So under this lecture series, 6 lectures have been delivered, and that lectures were on entrepreneurship opportunity in feed and fodder sector. And second lecture was participants, please mute your
yourself.
Okay.
आप लोगों से निवेदन है कि आप अपने को म्यूट रखिए, डिस्कशन के लिए टाइम दिया जाएगा, प्लीज.
The second lecture was on prospects of bamboo shoot processing and value addition and emerging startup. The third lecture was on community-led range land revival and management in CPR setup. Lecture 4 was on hydroponics and aeroponics, a new vista in agripreneurship. The lecture 5 was on current status of agro-food robotics and artificial intelligence. The lecture 6 was on prospect entrepreneurship from rural urban waste. So these 6 lectures already have been delivered by eminent speakers from our country and from foreign countries also. And all these lectures have been uploaded on our ABIC IGFRI YouTube channel. So from there you can access these lectures easily and watch there. So today the lecture 7 and lecture 8 will be delivered by Dr. K. Srinivas sir and Dr. Arun Kumar Handa sir. The lecture 7 will be on business model canvas and financing innovation issues and opportunities, and this will be delivered by Dr. K. Srinivas. And lecture 8 on entrepreneurship and agroforestry for timber production. This will be delivered by Dr. Arun Kumar Handa sir. So I welcome you both the speakers into this today's online lecture program. So I welcome you both. I invite Dr. K. Srinivasan sir, Principal Scientist. Dr. K. Srinivas sir, Principal Scientist, Member EAC, SISF, ICR, Krishi Anusandhan Bhavan, Pusa, New Delhi. Dr. Srinivas sir, please share your PPT.
Thank you, Amit, for introduction and
sir, before that, I would also like to introduce Srinivas sir. Dr. Srinivas sir completed graduation and post-graduation from JNKVV Jabalpur and PhD from Ludhiana. Currently, he is guiding and monitoring ITMUs of all ICR Institute on IP issues, including commercialization, beside 50 ABIs on developing startup ecosystem in agri sector. Previously, he worked as Principal Scientist at ICAR NARM Hyderabad and CEO of NARM TBI AIDEA, funded by ICAR, ABI, DST TBI, Birax, Bionest, and ABIC NABARD. IDEA under his leadership supported more than 72 startups through incubation and accelerator agri-UDAN programs. He also steered ICR NAM's Incubator A Idea to achieve the Best Emerging Incubator Award from Government of India in 2018. Besides this, he has more than 25 years of experience. 25 years of experience in research, development, and extension project. He had diverse work experience in terms of geography and research. Also published many research papers in international and national journals of repute, 10 books and bulletins. He represented ICR and its incubation center in many international and national fora. He was involved in the preparation of PME manuals for ICAR and state agricultural universities ABI policy for ICR. So thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation to deliver your lecture. So, sir, I invite you for delivering your lecture. Dr.
Thank you, Amit. I think this Vivo person is continuously.
Yes, sir, I am muting.
Anyway, thank you very much for inviting me for this particular lecture. I was asked actually to talk on DPR, that is detailed for financing the things. Then I suggested that when we are in the startup world and we are in the agricultural business incubation system, where DPRs are not that preferred instrument for getting finances, because most of the startups, they don't go for the routine finances like bank loans or something loans from different banking and non-banking sectors. Mostly when you see the financial aspects of any startups, you will never listen that they have taken the loans and started the business. Most of the business are started through the investments, either through their own, that is normally they called as a bootstrap, or from the market they raise the maybe in different instruments, maybe in convertible instruments, maybe in equity, maybe in debt also, but the debt terms are different in this different ways. And when we talk about the startups or an initial business, we have three stages, distinct stages of business. The stages from idea to proof of concept, that is what any startup has a idea, he wanted to develop something to increase the efficiency in the system, that is ideation stage to proof of concept stage. Second stage of any startup comes from the proof of concept stage to go to market stage. That is very, very important. Here he tries his product or services, whatever he has generated, maybe an app or maybe a product or maybe a service, whichever he thinks he has came up with some innovative effect. So he tries into the market and he tries to find out the customers, and that is the very crucial business point of thing. And third important point where he needs the money is to scale up. Scale ups are of a different stage. You can start a scale up in a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So different stages of the scale ups is there, and every time you require money to increase your efficiency, increase your capacity, scale up your operations. So all these three stages I will discuss later on. But whenever you wanted to go to the market, normally when you go to the market, any investor or investors are also different types of investors are there. Some are family friends, they are close investors, they may not ask too many questions. There are some angel investors and high net worth individuals who put money into some startups like Tatas are there, Narayan Murthy is there, likewise many companies, many individual high net worth individuals are there who are investing a lot of money into the startups. And third comes the VCs, that is angel investor networks. So angel investor networks is basically again the group of high net worth individual in a more strong formal way, they fund to the startup. And then comes the venture capitalist. The venture capitalist is the crucial place where any startup either goes to the market, go to the market stage startup or scale up startup. These two are basically the customers of venture capitalists, and they take the money.
Sir, are you sharing your PPTs actually?
Yeah, I'll share. When it comes, I'll share. Don't worry. I'll share it. Presently, I'm just talking about an introduction. Then I'll share. Then this is basically when you talk about the third stage, where again the venture capitalists at a Series C, Series D, Series E, they are bigger venture capitalists, as well as P funds are that is there. That is public equity funds are there. They come into the market, and finally that comes to the public sharing. So this is the way of getting finances for the startups. So normally, whenever you have to keep in mind, even the ABIs who are running the ABIs, they have to keep in the mind that banks are least preferred way of taking money for starting a business. You have to start a business with some sort of investment, and you must have recently you must have seen Shark Tank India. There are many such things happening, but Shark Tank India, they have made it more publicly, more understanding. The public understands how the investments are raised. And for that, you require your business plan. And business plan is not a DPR. It is basically, you have to prepare your business plan on a BMC, that is business model canvas. I'll share my screen now. So when you talk about business model canvas, what is happening? Is it shared? No. So when you talk about the business model canvas, you come up with a picture that understanding what exactly the canvas means. Canvas is a big piece of paper or big piece of sheet where you can draw a lot of your ideas. And why it is called idea canvas is that canvas, if you see from the painter's point of view, canvas is a place where you can draw and you can put your ideas into the into a canvas or into a paper or a white cloth or whatever it is. Then comes the, because I have two different things to deal. And secondly, financial innovations. How what are the issues in the financial innovations? That means when you are wanted to raise the money for your business, what are the issues and how it can be, what are the opportunities? This is what I'm going to talk in next probably 1 hour, and then we can discuss for a couple of minutes, and then we can go with that. Here, as I said, we have two different aspects: business model canvases and financing innovations. How the finances are innovated. So when we talk about the business canvas, it is basically a strategic tool for a business design. Why I have chosen business canvas over the DPR, that is detailed project report, is because when you talk about the DPR, it takes a lot of time to write down the things. And number two, it is not iterative. It basically, once you write a plan, you have to stick on the plan. You cannot deviate from the plan, despite the fact that your plan at one point of time may not be very suitable as a business opportunity or business running of a business. You need to change your plans. Therefore, business, when you talk about the DPR, it is not very good instrument. So the business model canvas is another instrument. It is basically a strategic tool. It is a visual arrangement. You can see everything on your screen or in your canvas, that how you are going to deal with the different segments of the businesses. And then it is used for both existing and new businesses. This is a very interesting thing. That means once you start iterating on businesses, you continuously change your plan, you understand the market, you deeply analyze the market, try to change your strategy. There this particular tool comes into the handy. And as I said, it is iterative. You can continuously improve upon your business plan. Whereas DPR, you cannot improve actually DPR. Therefore, I have chosen this particular topic when the Pathak has asked me to do it. So why BMC? As I say, it's a comprehensive modeling exercise. Don't get worried about a big names like modeling or all, but it is a simple exercise which can be, which is comprehensive and which can be modeled and remodeled. That is why it is important. And it identifies alignments, how one segment of the business is aligned to another segment of businesses. Whenever we talk about businesses, you have a very understanding of three important things. One is procurement of inputs, how you are going to procure the inputs. Secondly, the operations, that how you plan your business to deliver it to customers. And third is customer or market and sales and marketing aspects. Three distinct things you can think it out. And for everything you require some sort of finances, how it goes on. And definitely when you are going among these three, you are going to do a lot of trade-offs. And this is what the business plan looks like. You have normally when in general we read the business plans, read any book or anything like key partners, key activities, key resources like this from right to left. But in business model canvassing, you have to look in a different way. You have to start with the customer segment. This is what the major differences in the business point of view is, that whenever you have an idea to make a new product or services for the market, you have to understand that who is going to take it, what type of customer is going to take it. You have to first identify the customer, segment the customer, and then come back to understand what type of customer segmentation is there. For example, if I say if you wanted to start some sort of extraction from lemongrass, probably it must be the nearest to what you people are doing. You wanted to extract the oil of lemongrass and sell it to the market. Who is going to purchase it? Is it a common customer? Probably rare. You need to supply it to some industry who is using this lemongrass oil of the lemongrass to some in some other as an ingredient to something.
Please unmute.
Mute.
Yes, mute.
This is Oppo.
Oppo, please mute yourself.
Yes, sir, I'm doing.
So this is basically the customer. You have to understand who is going to be your customer. As I told you, lemongrass oil may not be, it cannot be sold to common customers, may not be too many customers. There can be some, I don't say no, but majority of it goes for the industrial production. So which type of industry is there? Is it a cosmetic industry? Is it a high manufacturing industry? You have to identify them and try to segment your customers, how you are going to have these customers. And this is the way you have to continuously segment. So next few slides we will be dealing with this. And this is basically whenever you wanted to pitch in or you wanted to present your case in front of any investors, these are the things which customer, your investor wants to listen from you based on your exercise here, based on different types of iterations here, how you are going to present it. All these things will definitely make your investors more attracted to you. How you are going to do it is important thing. Therefore, another important aspects which normally I deal with is how to pitch in or how to present yourself as a case to different investors. There are investors are also different types. Now you can consider them as your customer, that you are going to sell your idea and they are going to give money to you for selling your idea to them. So customers are also different types. There can be high net worth individuals, there can be government funding, there can be funding from different venture capitalists, and venture capitalists also have their own way of doing it. All venture capitalists have different priorities, and based on their priorities, you have to match your presentation to them. So segmentation has to be done. With each customer segment, you have to write what exactly he is, his pros is there, his con, how he is going to have it, the value proposition you are going to give it. So from this first customer segment, you are just understanding what value proposition or how you are asking him to take your product in such a way that he feels, yes, I require this product only or this services only, then only I can increase my efficiency. Everyone nowadays in this particular era wants to increase its efficiency. Efficiency can be increased in three ways: either increase your production so that you can get more money, or increase your price of the product, or decrease the cost of your product. That is another way. That means you are bringing a new technique where you are, which can be used as decreasing your cost of production, or a combination of both. These three are there. So you have to make him understand what value you are giving in this particular product or services you are going to give him. This is the main important crux of any business. Rest are very, very important. Therefore, I normally deal with this in 2-3 minutes specifically. Again, I am telling you, customer, and even in Indian parley also, if you have gone to any shop, in the shop owner, they used to write it that customer is our God. Customer, you are the most preferred one, that we are going to look into that. Even shop owner writes it. That means we have to understand the whole scenario. Wherever you say, even for the person who are working in the field or working as a employee, also have the customer, that is the stakeholders to whom you are going to give serving and all those things. So this is one thing, is the important thing, and here is important. This is what I wanted to tell you. The customer, which are our key target customer segment. Whether you are going to give it to government supplies, there are many people who who develop their products and services for governments only. So they call it a B2G. There are companies who directly give to B2B. As I told you about lemongrass. You are a business, you are selling it to another business for increasing his efficiency in whatever the way it is. And then third is B2C, which is the most important thing. Most of the FMCG goods, that is fast moving consumer goods like toothpaste, toothbrush and all, even food items and all these things, they comes under the fast moving goods, and there is a different thing. And all the three have the requirement of your product will have a different attributes. The B2C will have a different attributes. His needs, though he requires your product and services, but his conditions will be different. His way of dealing with you is different. The government as a consumer, his attributes will be different. And finally, when you talk about the customers again, within the customers, you can segment it like anything. That is high income consumer, low income consumer, or whatever the way you wanted to attribute his characters in a different way. So this is very, very important, how keenly and how importantly you can identify your customers. This is the canvas that I am talking about. It normally comes in A1 size. What you require is that you require sticky notes. Everyone understands the sticky notes. Write the different types of customer and start pasting it on the your BMCs. And then you understand when you first do it and then again revisit it, you may say you may say probably I did wrong in identifying this customer, or I did wrong in giving the attributes to this customer. I wanted to change it. That is what the iterative process is there, and continue it. Even when someone suggests, you can think of and do it. Is our value proposition aligned to customer need or not? This is very, very important. The second important aspect in any thing is that value proposition. The value proposition, as I told you, is offering to meet the needs of the customer. How the customer is actually trying to require, what exactly his requirement is there, and are you meeting his requirement by your innovative product or services. As a startup, yes, as a startup, you are expected to give the innovative services which will increase the efficiency, and increase the efficiency will come with the two things, that is price efficiency. Either you increase the price, or cost efficiency. Either you decrease the cost of production. Jay Prakash ji, हाँ. So cost of production you require to do this.
जयप्रकाश पांडे जी, अपने को बंद कर लीजिए प्लीज.
So this is basically the way that we have to deal with these things, and there are immeasurable value propositions also, that is innovations that you have created is going to really make a very big dent. I can give you a couple of examples. For examples, we used to hire taxis earlier also, but the innovations like Uber and Ola has made a different experiences in agriculture. Let me tell you, we used to buy inputs from the nearby markets, but companies like AgriStar, they have also made a different types of product and services which are actually helping them to serve the farmers in a different, more efficient way, where farmers are also getting the inputs in a cheaper way, and even they are able to sell the produce outside. I can give you an all numerable example, as when Amit was telling that I have dealt with 72 startups. Still, I was there in NAM. So all the 72 startups I can tell you simply by remembering each and every one what type of efficiency they are creating in the market. Then customization. As I told you, we have to segment your customers, and for different customers, the requirement is different. And for each requirement, you have to customize your product or services. This is one of the important things. Third is convenience. Definitely how efficient, how conveniently you are delivering your product and services to the customer is another important aspect that normally you have to understand. When you say you have a customer segmented and you understand what type of value proposition you have to give it to them, the third important thing comes is channel. Through which channel you are going to serve them. And this may be physical channel, this may be a virtual channel. Like what today I am delivering to my customers through virtual channel about the BMC, but not necessarily that everything it happens. Because most of our transactions nowadays we are doing either Paytm or GPay or Google Pay or something like that. These are the virtual type of things. You never see your service provider, that is Paytm provider, any representative do not come to you, ye le lo, wo le lo. It is all through virtual things they have given you. Google, I am sure none of you have ever met any Google engineers or Google service, Google providers. But at the same time, it is not that they don't have. They have for B2G customers or B2B customers. There are representatives who are continuously working with B2G and B2C marketing and sales persons who are continuously working with B2G and B2B segment. Therefore, the way you have to deal is that one. Which channel do our customer segment want to be reached? For example, I was giving the examples of Dehat and AgroStar. They started with mobile phones, SMS messages. Once they have the data of the farmers, they used to continuously call them, ask their requirement. So mobile phones were the first point of view, first channel is there. And once they give it, they at the back end, they used to increase see which type of goods and services are asked by which type of villagers and where it has to be delivered. All these things they used to do, and they make it to reach to the farmers in time, and quality is also assured. Now, how we are reaching them now? Presently, how we are doing it? Presently, as I told you, if the villager wanted to go and purchase any inputs, he has to go to the nearby town where he gets the input delivery system, system, and he purchases it. But if with the AgroStar application, you can just nowadays they have the application also, or if you register with AgroStar or they will contact you, they will seek your requirement, and they will deliver it at your doorstep. That is what they are having. How our channels are integrated. This is another important thing. Channels, when we talk about any channel, that how we are going to deliver our goods and services to things, what are the trade-off between two channels? Suppose I wanted to visit personally to all customers, which is not very efficient and good way. If you can visit virtually, why not why not to go for virtual? Sometimes in a year or two, I will just make a personal contact, but most of the time I will be visiting virtually. That is the trade-off you have to make it. What type of market size is there? As I told you, the Googles and Paytms, you don't think they don't have sales and marketing personnel. They visit to big they visit banks, they visit government offices where they have a big customer, because market size is customer. You can afford to keep a person to market your silence. And again, all these things depends on the type of product, which type of product you are going to deliver, and what type of channel you are going to have it. And the degree of control is also an important aspect. How much control do you have on the channel which you are actually using to deliver the value proposition to your customer? All the three things have come up. First is delivery, first is customer segment, second is value proposition, and third is channel. So all these things, if you really look into the scenario, you are going to get a good customer base. We have not talked about the production yet. We are thinking only on customer, because customer is the god of any business, and all agri-business incubators are expected to develop this type of business people who have some idea, some innovation for this. Innovation may come from the individual. A person may come and say, I have got a very efficient way of extracting the lemon oil from the lemongrass. Or someone else can say, IGFRI has a technology which is going to do better in this way. I will source the technology and use it in my business. So there are some business innovations may come up. So all these dimensions act to be need. Once this is done, you are to continuously retain your customers. First of all, when you talk about any customers, you have to acquire him. You have to see the customer is in your fold and he is purchasing goods and services, whatever it is, innovative goods and innovative services, you are actually going to give it. And if you have that, if you acquire that, you have to maintain the relationship so that the customer do not quit. The moment Paytm came, 1,000 other apps started coming up on Paytm things. First Uber came to India, Ola followed. So you have that competition, and lot of competition will be there. The same thing like AgroStar came. There are a couple of companies came. I also helped one company to scale up, but unfortunately they have sold it out to AgroStar. So they have winded that they have sold their company to AgroStar, merged with them. So that is the another way of actually getting finance. So this type of things happen. You will have a lot of competition. As on date, if you see the input delivery, you have at least 10 companies in India like AgroStar, Dehat, Bijak, and all many companies are there which are providing customers, which are providing farmers the inputs at time and a quality inputs. So this type of things will happen. So you have to, when you acquire a customer, when you get a customer to your fold, you have to keep a relation with him. And this is the main important thing. So you have to give him a purpose that why you are important. That means you have to continuously tell about your value proposition to the customers and the type of channels you are going to deliver to him. That is what an important thing. It should be fair enough. It should be transparent. Retention. You have to continuously retain the customer is a very important point of view. I'll tell you one simple example. I had the Geo internet in my house at Delhi. When I was transferred, I asked them to disconnect it. Immediately, they started calling me. First, they called me, then they sent their service engineer. That really, I wanted to quit because I got transfer, or is there any other thing, whether I am dissatisfied with their services, whether whatever the things is there. They try to take a feedback. So I am discontinuing as a customer with them. They have to agree with them because my problem was with you. Otherwise, they would have asked me, okay, we will retain you, we will give you this concession, that concession, or something like that. They will do it. And this is an important aspect. And you, they should refer to someone else. As I told you, I refer to the next tenant that you can take. This is good. So these are all things that you have to understand in any customer relationship. So this completes actually the block of right side, which is normally important. Whenever we read a building block or whenever read a BMC, the first important thing is customer segment, which is continuously with this customer segment, what type of value propositions you are going to give it, and whether you have acquired him, and what are the channels through which you have acquired him, and what type of relations are you keeping with them. So these 4 channels are very, very important in this. Once this is done, you have to understand, once this is done, another works are also there which is continuously going on with you is the key activities, because you are giving him some innovative product or services. You have to understand that what key activities do our value propositions require. You have said ki this customer segment I wanted to give XYZ value. You may say ki I wanted to reduce the cost of his production. Therefore, my services or my technology may lead to reduction in his cost. You may sell the technology also as an institute. So that is one thing. So you have to think that what are the activities I have to take so that production cost for the person whom I am selling this technology is decreased. Or you may say, ki, what type of quality I am going to increase. For example, if you can say, ki, I have a variety of lemongrass which gives around 8-10%. I don't know really what type of percentage of lemongrass has the oil. If you increase oil percentage by 4 or 5% or a significant increase in that, you will be the value you are creating in your variety is that one. So that type of thing we have to actually look into that. And for that, what type of activity you have to do? You have to do the conventional breeding, you have to do the mass selection, you have to do the molecular breeding, whatever type of technology you wanted to adopt to create the value for your customer. That is your key activity that you have to identify. If it is molecular lab, how much molecular lab is there? I have to create a big molecular lab. How much finances I require, that I'll come later on. That is also has to be seen. And once that is done, the important aspect is distribution channel. What that time I was telling is the value proposition channels. Value proposition channels are basically you are just creating a value, creating a virtual value to him in his mind. That is the value creation channels. Whether you go for a TV advertisement, you go on the internet advertisement, you make a call, you meet the person, whatever it is that. But when you are going for a finally distributing your product or services, you must have your distribution channel open. Lot of distribution channels are available in the market today. You can go on the Amazon, you can go on the what is the another Indian company is there. You can go for anything. You can put your product and services in retails like Mongur or Aditya Birla's More or Big Bazaar or Big Basket or wherever you wanted to keep your product and services for your distribution channel. This is also the key activity that you have to go with that. Customer relationship is important as a key activity. How you are going to do it is important. And what type of revenue streams you will be getting in that. When you talk about the revenue streams, how much you are going to get out of this particular product. And here comes your pricing and valuation of the product, which is another big class if you wanted to take me. That's another thing. Then the key resources. For the key activities, you require a lot of resources. What are the resources to develop the key activities? As I told you, if you wanted to go for a molecular breeding for developing the fodder varieties, which can give you a better quality of inputs, the molecular lab is important. Then you require a lot of fields to test it on the ground. Maybe you may require some greenhouses and some open fields, so that at different level you can require. And in India, we have actually very good system of all India coordinated project at different places to see its adaptability in a different places. So this is what one of the thing is there. And whatever who are our distribution channels, this is the key resources when we talk about who are the critical distribution channel. That is when I talk a critical distribution channel, and everything goes with a customer segmentation. B2G, your channel may be different. B2B, your channel may be different. B2C, your channel may be different. You have to actually think in that. And how you are whom you are going to hire for your key resource, for your customer relationship. You may hire the Marg type of companies, which are basically looking after the advertisements. You can even talk to some film stars to develop your to promote your product or services. If you have seen nowadays, a lot of film stars are also coming for helping the startups by giving their bite or giving their advertisement in the system. And then that's a different model. For that, they take the equity in the company. If the company flourishes, they flourish. If company fails, for them, it's a one-day waste. That's all they have. So these type of resources you have to have a thing. And which type of partners? Partners is also very, very important thing when you talk about that. Who are the key partners? You may now here you may say my key partner is my investors, my research institute where I have been incubated. That is another key partner. My factory owner where I am going to develop my products and services is the key partner. So that type of thing, which type of partners, who is going to supply you the input, who are going to from each resources, what type of key resources we are going to get it, and which activity do partners perform. These are all the important things that you have to jot down on a slip sheet and paste it there in the way. Now comes the revenue streams. This is another aspect. When you see the BMC, the rightmost down, it is rightmost left, it is revenue stream. That what type of revenues are there, how the you are going to get it. Are you selling it within India? If you are selling it within India, how they are going to pay, whether they are paying cash, they are paying in credit, or they are paying in instantly the moment you give it through electronically. That is important thing. Why they are going to pay you for the value that is created. All these things you have to answer these questions in the system. And the cost structure, yes, for the whole thing you require costs. Everything you require money. And basically when I say you are going to present this in front of investors, investors will be interested in majorly revenue stream, cost stream, customer segment, value proposition. These four things are there where the investors are going to actually look into your proposal for funding your project. And for funding your project, basically it requires a different type of thing. As I told you, you don't require a DPR for attracting investment. If you must be reading in the newspapers, some 3 million, 30 million, 20 million, 10 million, $1 million, they are raising the funds. So when you say $1 million fund raise is there, that means he has presented his case at the initial stages, he gets the 1 million year. One of my company called Agnex, we have invested in them 15 lakh rupees. I'll tell you the story. The moment we invested them in 15 lakh rupees, it was at initial stages, at POC stages, idea to POC stage. We have given him 15 lakh rupees, and that 15 lakh rupees within 6 months, they have developed some their technology and presented in front of one venture capitalist. We gave it a valuation of 8 crores and 15 lakh rupees. And immediately after the VC came, they have valued the company to 100 crores, and they have given around 2 crore rupees. The moment within 1 year, the next round of investment they have raised is around 100 crores for next 5 years with a valuation of 300 crore rupees. So this is the way you have to develop. And at that time, we have exited as an initial POC funding agency. AIDA has exited with 5x returns. That is 15 lakhs has been converted into 72 lakh rupees for us within a span of 3 years. So that is the way that people do it. If we would have not done it, someone HNI would have given it, and in 3 years 15 lakh ka 75 lakh banaya is not a joke. So business model canvas is the whole thing. I'll just give you a 4 minutes video in this. You can have a look of 4 minutes video in this, and then we can go for the next. We can take some questions if you want, or we can go for the next one, whichever you think.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, the tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and invent new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with the customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. The channels describe through which touch points you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. The key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. Then once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
So this is what the business model structure is, that very easily you can actually come up with the scenario in this way. 1 minute. It's why it's not coming. So this is what the scenario is whenever you talk about the business model. Pathakji, shall we take questions at this point or we can continue? I am ready to take some there are at this point because that's Pathakji or Amitji, anyone can suggest?
Sir, after presentation, we can take questions from participants.
So this is one point actually when we have completed it, and this goes to the persons who are financing your businesses. When you talk about financing your business, that means you are going to actually take the money from the people around. And which type of people are there? I have already explained. There are government funds are there. There are HNIs, that is high net worth individuals, families and friends. Then comes angel investors. Then come venture capitalists of different level, and then comes the PE level. So to understand this actually, so we have the 3 stages of innovation. As I told you, idea to POC, POC to go to market to scale up. And every stage you can actually very clearly measure it up. So this is the startup development phase. Whenever a startup comes in that, he starts with an idea with a very less cost, maybe 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs, this type of thing. He starts understanding, develops his product or services, also continuously looks into the market segment, whom we are going to serve. And that time, if you see the profit scale, this time it is basically he is in the loss. Then once it is done, he validates the proof, that is pre-seed stage. Normally, this is from idea to POC stage. He validates it through some customers, and mostly this type of thing, it is basically bootstrapping, means his own fund or with family friend. He gets some family friend, some government grants, which I am going to deal with the government grants also in the next one. So this stage, mostly government grant comes. No HNIs, no angel investors will come in this stage. But if you go to the next stage, that is ground angel and seed funding, that is mostly at the building stage. When a startup starts to build his company or his product or services. And early stage, early stage, this is basically go to market stage, POC to go to market stage. And at this stage, basically VCs and PEs comes, and then growth stage and maturity, private equity funds comes, and lot of companies are there. And finally, when you go to the maturity stage, then banks and NBFCs and public offering and all those things happens actually. So as I was starting, for the funds for startups from idea to POC stage, lot of funds are available. Other than your family friends, you can get the DST seed fund through incubators. There are many incubators who are Section 8 companies or societies. Department of Science and Technology gives seed funds. Not only Department of Science and Technologies, BIRAC gives seed funds, and now Startup India Seed Fund, for which I am also a member to provide money to the different incubators, is also there nowadays. All ministries now have some fund, like in ICR we have Rabi Raftar, Mighty, they have a feed fund. Education Ministry, where now they call it, earlier it was called a ministry, HRD, they have that. And then BIRAC, we have got not only seed fund, but some grants also, like big STARE, EUA, these type of grants are there. Many state governments are also giving grants. State government innovation fund like Karnataka Innovation Fund is there. Telangana Innovation Fund is there. And recently I heard that UP also got the innovation funds. High net worth individuals, angel investors, angel investor networks, these people, they give it a small quantity up to 50 lakhs, not a very big money. But this is being given nowadays, is available, and lot of money is available at this stage. funds for startups from POT to go to stage market. Here your number comes. Accelerators are there. Accelerators funding through VCs and grants. Like what Amit was telling, we did an accelerator. We used to do a lot of accelerators. Now Accelerator 5 also launched. So Agri-Udan 1, we did it with IIM Ahmedabad. We understood the thing. Agri-Udan 2, Agri-Udan 3, Agri-Udan 4. If we did this type of Agri-Udans where we have trained the startups or mentored the startups in such a way that they have to get the funding for their money, that is POT, to go to market stage. And in this particular segment, let me tell you, we have AIDs around 20 out of around 30 startups. 18 startups have raised the funds from different sources, from different HNIs and angels and VCs to a tune of around 100 CR. So this is what our success is there. From BIRAC, there are a couple of funding grants are there, like BIP, SIBRI is there. NAB Ventures is again another one that has become national. NABARD's fund is there. This is called NAB Ventures. Private bank VCs now, even government branches are also coming. A couple of days back only, SBI has started a special branch for startups. So that is VCs. They have started venture capitalists like Omnivore, which is I have kept it only agricultural one. So if you know some other, they may not be solely working on agriculture. So you have Ankur Capital. It is a spelling mistake. ThinkAct, Kalari Capital, etc. There are many other funds, venture capital funds, which give it to POC to go to stage fund. And once you have go to stage funds, you are going to a next stage. You got a BIRAC funding is available. That is DBT's funding called PACE, which is very big. Here at this point of time, as I told you, when you are at a maturity stage, banks will enter. They may give you funding in terms of loans only, but they will not be asking you a lot of papers. They will ask you only your company's balance sheets and all those things. PE firms are there. That is private equity firms are there. National and international corporates are there. Product commercialization fund for from BIRAC, again, I have given already. PACE is there. So this type of funding is available for the startups at different stage. What they used to, what you have to do is at that point of time is that you have to fill a form. Definitely for everything you have to fill a form and give them the things. And when you're going to present your case, and they will ask you your presentation rather than DPR, they will ask you presentation. And before that, they will go, they will understand your technology, they will understand your innovation, they will call for experts for understanding, they will do the due diligence that you are genuine or not. They will not put a check that you, whomsoever you are, will give you. They do the due diligence of yours and your company, and then finally they will give the money. But it is although I'm telling a lot of things, but it takes maximum 1 month for them to give the money. So this type of innovations and startups are there, which actually gives a lot of funding. Financing is there. So this type of financing innovations are happening in the startup field. So this is what I wanted to say. Now you can start with questions, if any.
Okay, sir. Thank you. All participants are requested if they have any question regarding the presentation. आप लोगों से आग्रह है कि यदि कोई प्रश्न पूछना चाहते हैं जिसको इस बारे में समझ में नहीं आया है, तो आप लोग प्रश्न पूछ सकते हैं या चैट बॉक्स में दे सकते हैं। अमित, जरा देखिए चैट बॉक्स में कुछ क्वेश्चन है क्या?
हाँ सर, अभी तो क्वेश्चन नहीं है।
कोई
Any participant want any questions?
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था, जैसे मार्केट साइज के बारे में यदि कोई कंपनी स्टार्ट कर रही है, जैसे हमने इनोवेटिव आइडिया किसी कंपनी की आई और हमारे एबीआई में आए, उसके बाद हमने एमओयू किया, उसको मेंटरिंग किया, उसके बाद मार्केट साइज वो कैसे हम उसको बता पाएंगे?
इंक्यूबेटर का काम मार्केट साइज बताने का नहीं है, मार्केट साइज सुनने का है एक्चुअली, डजंट मैटर। जब
नहीं,
हम
जैसे मैं एक एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ सर, टीएमआर हम लोगों ने अभी एक नई टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई, टोटल मिक्स्ड राशन फॉर गोट फार्मिंग। यहाँ मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बहुत सारे लोग गोटरी से भी जुड़े हुए हैं, तो टीएमआर को हमें टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर करना है, तो कुछ लोग रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं। अब वो हमसे पूछ रहे हैं कि हमारा कितना मार्केट होगा, आप कैसे हमें सेल करवाएंगे?
तो आपके पास बड़ा सिंपल सा है, विद इन इंडिया यू हैव अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ हाउ मेनी गोट्स आर देयर।
हाँ, दैट इज देयर, आई टोल्ड देम।
हाँ, उसके बाद उसको मल्टीप्लाई कीजिए, उनकी फूड रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है
जी
और उसमें मिनरल्स कितने चाहिए।
जी,
ये मान लीजिए दिस इज अ टोटल मार्केट साइज हो
दिस इज
जाएगी।
टोटल इन इंडिया, दैट्स व्हाट आई टोल्ड।
नहीं, टोटल इन इंडिया मार्केट साइज हो जाएगी।
जी
ये जो है फिर इसको डिफरेंशिएट कीजिएगा, ये काम बेसिकली स्टार्टअप्स का ही करने का चाहिए, उसको नेक्स्ट स्टेज में आना चाहिए
जी
कि गोट्स जो है, जो पॉपुलेशन है वो 100% रियरिंग नहीं है, अधिकतर स्ट्रे है, स्ट्रे एनिमल्स और स्ट्रे गोट्स वगैरह भी रहते हैं।
जी।
एक एजम्पशन ले कि जो भी एजम्पशन आप
नहीं
लोगों से
सर, एजम्पशन ये है कि जैसे पोल्ट्री बूम किया ड्यू टू प्रोडक्शन ऑफ फीड पैलेट्स,
यस,
poultry will also boom if we are
नहीं,
providing
वही
stall
मेरी
feeding.
मेरी बात सुनिए ना, मार्केट साइज की बात कर रहे हैं, जो टोटल मार्केट साइज हो गया। टोटल मार्केट साइज इज नॉट सर्विसेबल मार्केट साइज, आप कितना मार्केट सर्विस हो सकता है,
सर्विस कर सकते हैं, दैट इज देयर।
उसी में जो है, जो स्ट्रे एनिमल्स है, स्ट्रे गोट्स है, उनको तो आप सर्विस नहीं कर पाओगे।
जी
आप उसको तो कर पाओगे जिस गोट का कोई मालिक हो।
हाँ जी
मान लीजिए 100 गोट्स में से 40 स्ट्रे रहते हैं, 60 लोगों के पास पालतू रहते हैं,
जी।
गोट फार्मर के पास रहते हैं।
हम्म,
तो आप 100 तो आपका टोटल मार्केट साइज हो गया, सर्विसेज मार्केट साइज 60 इंटू जो रिक्वायरमेंट हो गई वो हो गई। और उसके बाद फिर कंपनी कितना पैसा डाल के उसमें कितना बनाना चाहती है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है। उसके लिए उसको जो है कस्टमर सेगमेंट देखना पड़ेगा। गोट जो है आपका, एक गोट ट्रस्ट भी है आपका लखनऊ में और कई,
हाँ हम विजिट किए हैं सर।
हाँ, ये डॉक्टर संजीव का
उज्जवल।
हाँ, फिर उसके बाद साउथ में जो है, खासकर तेलंगाना में गोट का एक ऊपर बहुत काम हो रहा है, गवर्नमेंट काम कर रही है। सो आपके पास दो तरह के कस्टमर है, एक तो कस्टमर है हु आर एग्रीगेटर्स लाइक गोट ट्रस्ट, दी गोट ट्रस्ट, एंड आपके पास गवर्नमेंट का सेगमेंटेशन हुआ, मार्केट सेगमेंट। तो दो टाइप के हुआ। और तीसरा, कई गोट फार्मर्स डायरेक्ट भी आपसे लेना चाहेंगे यदि आप उनको ठीक तरीके से दे सके। तो आपके पास B2B भी हो गया, B2C भी हो गया, B2G भी हो गया। तो इनिशियली आप किसको प्रेफर करेंगे ये देखना है। B2B में, B2G में सबसे बड़ी चीज ये है, सरकार लेती तो है, लेकिन आप भी जानते हैं, हम भी जानते हैं और सारी दुनिया जानती है कि यदि आज आपको प्रोडक्ट दिया गया है तो आपका चेक क्लियरेंस होने में, ये क्लियरेंस होने में 2 महीना 3 महीना लग जाता है। आप B2B देंगे तो B2B में भी जो होता है वो 40 दिन का, 45 दिन का आपको उन लोगों को लेवे देना पड़ता है ताकि वो पैसा वापस करे, डायरेक्ट नहीं देता है। B2C में कैश ट्रांजैक्शन होता है। ये सब आपको सोचना पड़ेगा और उसके बेसिस पे आप प्राइसिंग करेंगे। आपके जो EMR जो प्रोडक्ट बनेगा उसकी प्राइसिंग करके उसको कैसे उन लोगों को, अलग अलग लोगों को पहुंचाना है ये देखना पड़ेगा। आप जैसे B2B है, आपके पास आप हो सकता है कि कन्वेंशनल जो आपका क्या कहना चाहिए चैनल्स है, लाइक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, डीलर, वैसे चैनल देना चाहे वो भी हो सकता है। या फिर आप कुछ और इनोवेटिव मार्केटिंग करना चाहेंगे। कई लोग आजकल मार्केटिंग पे ज्यादा जोर दे रहे हैं, उसके हिसाब से आपको कौन से बंदे चाहिए, दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स कंप्लीटली आप जब BMC में करेंगे तो ये आपका एक एक चिट बन जाएगा। बहुत ज्यादा इसमें लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि यदि हम बोले कि B2G तो सब लोगों को अधिकतर फाइनेंसिंग एजेंसी जहां से आप पैसा निकालना चाह रहे हो, आज मुझे इसको लगाने के लिए 50 लाख की जरूरत है, तो मैं किसी एंजल के पास जाऊंगा, किसी HNI के पास जाऊंगा कि इतना है मुझे चाहिए, लेकिन मुझे उसको सबसे बाद दिखाना पड़ेगा कि इतना मेरा सेल है, 50 लाख देंगे तो मैं अगले 5 साल में 50 करोड़ बना के दिखाऊंगा। ये टाइप का आपका स्ट्रेटेजी रहना चाहिए, इसीलिए रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम और कॉस्ट स्ट्रीम रहता है।
रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम इसीलिए बनाना पड़ेगा कंपनी को,
बनाना पड़ेगा, हर चीज आपको बनानी पड़ेगी बेस्ड ऑन स्ट्रॉन्ग एजम्पशंस, और उस एजम्पशंस के लिए इंक्यूबेटर्स विल हेल्प। आपके जैसा टेक्नोलॉजी इंक्यूबेटर्स है, क्योंकि आपको अंदाज है उस सेक्टर का। मेरे को, मैं भी बैठूंगा तो 10 दिन में मैं भी सीख लूंगा इवन ग्रासलैंड में क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे बिजनेसेस होते हैं। बट ये है कि अभी आप उसके एक्सपर्ट है, यू हैव टू टेल देम कि ऐसे ऐसे मार्केट साइज है, इसमें 100% मार्केट, टोटल मार्केट साइज में कभी नहीं जाइएगा, सर्विसेबल मार्केट साइज इतना है। सर्विसेबल मार्केट साइज में आप कितने परसेंटेज को, मान लीजिए 100 में 60 का सर्विस, 60% सर्विसेबल मार्केट है, 60% में आप कितने लोगों को, कितने परसेंट आप अपने कंपनी का शेयर देखना चाहते हैं, वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो ये सब आप करने के बाद जब आप आएंगे, जब आप उनके पास जाएंगे तो दे विल बी क्लियर कि हाँ ये तो बहुत ही क्लैरिटी है इसमें। DPR कोई नहीं पढ़ता, बहुत मोटी मोटी किताबें होती है। बैंक वाले भी मैंने देखा है कि बहुत लोग DPR में 3-4 चीज देखते हैं। एक होता है वैल्यू कैलकुलेशन, जहाँ NPV, IRR और पे बैक पीरियड रहता है, वो 3 कॉलम को पढ़ के उसी के बेसिस पे अधिकतर काम उन लोग कर देते हैं। और दूसरी चीज ऑब्जेक्टिव्स पढ़ते हैं आपके कंपनी के, बाकी बहुत ज्यादा चीज उन लोग भी नहीं पढ़ते हैं। इसके कारण क्या, और लेकिन ऑडिट करते समय वो बोलते हैं आपने ये नहीं किया, आपने ये प्रॉमिस किया था, ये नहीं किया, ये प्रॉमिस किया था। इन्वेस्टमेंट में वो चीज नहीं है। इन्वेस्टमेंट में आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, आप इन्वेस्टर को बुलाइए, अपनी BMC दिखाइए कि यहाँ पर ये इश्यूज है, हम ऐसे चेंज करना। यस, if they are convinced they can go for it. That is what investment is, easier money definitely, और high risk money है। बैंक में, बैंक से आप पैसा लेंगे, उसमें यह है आपको या तो आपको कुछ गिरवी रखना पड़ेगा जो कि आपके पास नहीं है, या फिर आप कैसे भी करके फिर बाद में जैसे भी करके उन्हें चुकाना पड़ेगा। दैट इज वन थिंग। अदरवाइज NPA का चक्कर आप जानते हैं आजकल हर रोज पेपर में आ रहा है। अल्टरनेटिवली इन्वेस्टमेंट में ऐसा है, जो मैंने यदि इन्वेस्ट किया है इसी कंपनी में, मैंने ये सोच के इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है कि ये पैसा आ भी सकता है और नहीं भी आ सकता है। इन्वेस्टर्स क्या सोचता है, मैं 10 कंपनी में करूंगा, 10 कंपनी में 4 कंपनी भी यदि मुझे 5x दे दे तो मुझे दुगना तो मेरा पैसा ऐसे ही हो जाएगा।
सर एक चीज और थी, जैसे हमारे यहाँ अभी IGFRI में बुंदेलखंडी गोट को रजिस्टर्ड करने की कोशिश चल रही है, या शायद रजिस्टर्ड हो गई है। आई थिंक डॉक्टर दीपक उपाध्याय विल टेल। तो ये कुछ इस ब्रीड के लिए हम लोग कैसे इनोवेटिव आइडिया, या कैसे हम गोटरी फार्म को ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं, इस पे कुछ फोकस कर सकते हैं?
ये क्या GI करना चाहते हैं कि?
हाँ, ये तो GI होगा इससे। Bundelkhandi goat is famous for this area and it is not registered.
No, sir, this is not a GI. This is going to be a recognition of the breed, because this has been a non-descriptive breed. Now this has been recognized as a breed as a goat of goat.
लेकिन GI tag नहीं दे सकते इसे?
GI tag दे सकते हैं, but we are trying to get it recognized as a breed, and we will going to register as a breed. So this will be recognized as one of the goat breed.
NBAGR में?
Yes, sir.
नहीं तो यदि आप वो कर रहे हैं तो if it is so important, so famous of that particular area, why don't you do the GI?
Yeah, definitely we can do it. We can do it, but now we are trying to recognize a breed.
उसके लिए आपको मेहनत ये करनी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि इंस्टीट्यूशन के नाम पे हो नहीं सकता। इंस्टीट्यूशन can be facilitator for GI,
right,
but institution cannot hold the name of the GI. So you have to create a group of farmers, maybe an FPO, goat FPO, and ask them to apply, and you can be helping them. वहाँ आपका नाम आएगा and it is recognized as your contribution in your service also. Don't worry about that recognition. तो आप GI करा लीजिए, फिर जो भी उस गोट को खरीदेगा बेचेगा तो वो प्रीमियम प्राइस पे बेच सकता है, लेकिन उसके पहले आप रिकॉग्नाइज कराने के पहले आप उसकी क्वालिटी भी बताएंगे ना कि क्या क्या क्वालिटी है।
राइट।
उन क्वालिटी को लेकर यू कैन डू इट।
One question in chat box: how much funding provided, and give idea about duration for refund?
क्या चीज? हाउ, एक मिनट मैं अभी पढ़ता हूँ।
हाँ सर, चैट में।
How much funding provided and give idea about duration of for refund.
कितने दिन में उसको
Paying
refund कर
back
पाएंगे?
period.
फंडिंग जो है 5 लाख से 50 करोड़ 500 करोड़ तक की हो सकती है और ज्यादा भी हो सकती है, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। रिफंड जो होता है, मैं यही बता रहा हूँ, डिफरेंस बिटवीन इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड बैंक। बैंक से आप लोन करना पड़ता है, इन्वेस्टमेंट जो होता है उसमें रिफंड करने की जरूरत नहीं। उसमें आपको जो इन्वेस्ट करता है वो आपके प्रॉफिट में से शेयर लेता है जब तक उसको लेना है, फिर अपने शेयर्स बेच भी सकता है। उसमें यह है रिस्क फैक्टर जो है वो भी बियर करता है जो आपको पैसा दे रहा है। मान लीजिए आपकी मैंने 50 लाख रुपए आपके कंपनी में, इनोवेशन कंपनी में लगाया कि ये बहुत अच्छा होगा, और 50 लाख रुपए मैंने लगाया है विद वैल्यूएशन ऑफ 500 करोड़ 50 करोड़, तो मैंने मतलब मेरा 10% शेयर है। तो जब भी उसमें जो भी रेवेन्यूज आएंगी, जो भी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी आएगी, उसमें से मुझे 10% आप देंगे जब तक मैं उन शेयर्स को बेच ना दूं। यदि आपका कंपनी बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा है और उसको आपको आगे बढ़ाना है तो आपको नेक्स्ट राउंड ऑफ फंडिंग भी चाहिए। अभी तो मैंने 50 लाख चलाया, आपको 5 करोड़ चाहिए, मे बी एट अ वैल्यूएशन ऑफ 100 करोड़ और 200 करोड़, डिपेंडिंग ऑन व्हाट टाइप ऑफ थिंग इज दैट। तब मैं देखूंगा कि उस समय उसकी वैल्यू क्या है और मेरे शेयर का वैल्यूएशन कितना है। उस समय मैं बाहर भी हो सकता हूँ। 50 लाख को 5 गुना 50 लाख 5 करोड़ पे है और 50 लाख 50 करोड़ पे है, तो 10 गुना आपकी वैल्यूएशन बढ़ गई। तो मैं 5 करोड़ लेके बाहर भी हो सकता हूँ, तो मेरा फायदा 50 लाख 4.5 करोड़ हुआ। लेकिन वो तभी होगा जब कंपनियां अच्छे से चलेंगी, और कंपनियों को चलाने के लिए ये बीएमसी जो है वो कंटिन्यूअसली आपको लगाना पड़ेगा। नॉर्मली आप जाएंगे, आप देखते होंगे इवन कई फिल्मों में दिखाता है, उन्होंने अपना बड़ा सा व्हाइट बोर्ड लगाया है, उसमें स्टिकर्स लगाए हैं। वो स्टिकर्स बेसिकली हर एक आदमी का बीएमसी, इवन इंडिविजुअल आदमी अपना बीएमसी कर सकता है कि मेरा भी एक बिजनेस है, मैं नौकरी करता हूँ, नौकरी को भी एक बिजनेस के रूप में लूं, तो हाउ आई बिहेव इट, दैट इज व्हाट द लाइफ इज, दैट हर आदमी का कर सकता है। तो इसीलिए आप देखे होंगे कि बड़ी बड़ी प्राइवेट कंपनियों में वो कभी नारंगी सीट, कभी येलो सीट, कभी पीली सीट, अलग अलग तरह के छोटे छोटे स्टिकर्स लगे होते हैं। तो फंडिंग की कोई लिमिट नहीं है, लेकिन ये है वो डिपेंड करता है इंडिविजुअल पे, कौन कितना फंड कर सकता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल सरकारी फंडिंग की सारी लिमिट है। बाईराग का बीआईजी ग्रांट जो है 50 लाख रुपए मैक्सिमम है, आप 10 लाख भी ले सकते हैं, 50 लाख भी दे सकते हैं। निधि प्रयास का फंडिंग जो है 10 लाख रुपया है, निधि प्रयास कंप्लीटली ग्रांट है। बीआईजी फंडिंग जो है रिटर्नेबल बेसिस पे 0% इंटरेस्ट पे रिटर्नेबल ग्रांट है। तो ऐसे अलग अलग फंडिंग है, हर एक का अपना एक है। यदि मैंने अपने जो HNIs बोल रहा हूँ, हाई नेटवर्थ इंडिविजुअल्स, मैं भी यदि किसी कंपनी में 10 लाख रुपए डाल सकता हूँ, 20 लाख रुपए डाल सकता हूँ इनिशियल स्टेज में, जब उसकी वैल्यूएशन कम रहती है, मेरे मनी की वैल्यू ज्यादा रहती है। जब मेरे मनी की वैल्यू ज्यादा रहती है और कंपनी का चल पड़ी तो उसकी वैल्यूएशन बढ़ेगी, तो मेरे पैसे की भी वैल्यूएशन बढ़ेगी, मैं लेके नहीं करता। ये है इसका जवाब। Anything else? I think we have
सर लास्ट क्वेश्चन मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ एक,
बिल्कुल।
जैसे कुछ मेंटर्स की प्रॉब्लम होती है कि जैसे मान लीजिए हमने ब्रीड डेवलप किया, देन हाउ इट विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड टू इनक्यूबेटी और सच थिंग।
सर ICR का जो रूल है, क्योंकि आप ICR का ही क्वेश्चन किया है, बड़ा सिंपल है। ICR में किसी भी टेक्नोलॉजी को ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं तो आप एग्री-इनोवेट से बात कीजिए, एग्री-इनोवेट को आप लेटर लिखिए और उन लोग जो हैं आपके साथ बैठ के टेक्नो कमर्शियल असेसमेंट करेंगे किसी का, एंड देन दे विल प्रिपेयर एवरीथिंग, एमओयू वगैरह उन लोग का सरदर्दी है, पैसा भी उन लोग लेके आपको दे देंगे। आईसीआर की टेक्नोलॉजी का बड़ा क्लियर फंडा है कि वी हैव टू डू आवर कमर्शियलाइजेशन। और चूंकि आप भी आईटीएमयू में भी है ना, आप आईटीएमयू के इंचार्ज भी है।
हाँ, डॉक्टर सहाय हैं अभी।
डॉक्टर सहाय के थ्रू जाएगा सीईओ एग्री इनोवेट को, सीईओ एग्री इनोवेट, फिर टेक्नो कमर्शियल कमेटी की मीटिंग होगी, उसमें डिसाइड होगा कि कितना। इवन इंक्यूबेटर्स के लिए भी वही रूट है, उसमें यह है कि इंक्यूबेटर्स के लिए देखेंगे, मैंने स्टार्टअप्स के लिए दे हैव सम कंसेशन।
हाँ, जैसे छोटे स्तर पे स्टार्ट करना हो उसके लिए भी वही करना है।
हाँ जी, किसी भी स्तर पर स्टार्ट, यदि टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर करनी है आपको
जी,
कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी आपकी जो इंस्टीट्यूट की है उसको ट्रांसफर करनी है तो रूट वही होगा। ये है कि एग्री इनोवेट ये बोल सकता है कि ये तो बहुत कम पैसे का आप खुद कर लो, लेकिन बहुत कम पैसा उन लोग 1 लाख से कम वाले को मानते हैं, और 1 लाख जो वैल्यूएशन है आजकल कुछ भी नहीं है।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू। If not any question, then I invite next lecture, sir.
Shall I move out?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pathak and Dr. Amit, and
Pathak ji,
me this chance. And I think for anyone, if you want any questions, I am available at ksrinivasnam@gmail.com. Lifelong I am available at that particular, जब तक मैं जिंदा हूँ. You can send me a mail, KSRINIVAS.
Sir, please write down in chat box.
Chat box I'll write down.
Okay, sir.
पाठक जी,
हाँ जी सर।
मुझे कुछ हाँ, हेलो।
अच्छा, हाँ सर, वेलकम सर।
Actually, I just joined and I was listening to that 1 lakh cost of the technology, उसके बिलो अगर है तो ये जो बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर्स करते हैं वो उनको वो अट्रैक्ट नहीं करती। तो इसके लिए सबसे बढ़िया तरीका ये है कि उस टेक्नोलॉजीज पर ईडीपी चालू करें। 1 हफ्ते भर का कोर्स ओनली ऑन दैट टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर द इंटरेस्टेड पार्टीज, फार्मर्स, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, कॉस्टिंग ओनली वेरी लिटिल. Just like we are at CFET and CIA, we conduct such kind of trainings with only 5,000 rupees fee and very low cost of living and dining. And so people come, they get trained, they get interested, and they follow the technology, because we have many small scale technologies which need to go to the farm. Bigger technologies, of course, if there is a profit, the bigger companies will come forward and they will pick up. They will not even give you credit many times of your technology. They will just pick up the idea and then further flourish on it. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
That is there, sir. जैसे मैं एक चीज एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ, जैसे सीड की बात है, तो सीड तो एक मुट्ठी लिया कहीं भी बो दिया गया, तो उसमें फिर लोग करते हैं कि क्या टेक्नोलॉजी है, ये प्रॉब्लम आती है।
नहीं, जो है आप डायरेक्ट कंज्यूमर का कस्टमर को बेचने की जगह कोई सीड कंपनी है, वो आपकी टेक्नोलॉजी लेगी, वो सीड प्रोड्यूस कर मल्टीप्लाई करेगी और पूरे जगह फैलाएगी। ये आपका काम नहीं है एज अ सीड। आपने सीड डेवलप किया है, वैरायटी डेवलप की है, उसको पूरे इंडिया में फैलाने के लिए आप नहीं कर सकते।
Definitely. You are correct. Yeah, seed is a different technology. It goes to bigger companies.
जैसे आपकी EMR टेक्नोलॉजी जो आप बता रहे हो कि फूड वाला है, फूड वाला भी आप नहीं कर सकते हो। Some private player has to come in between. So to do that, you have to talk to CEO Agri Innovate, because it is very clear in our guidelines in 2018 that any ITMU will actually identify all the technology, take it to Agri Innovate, and there you sit and work, do the techno-economic commercialization, and also work on the strategies कि कैसे आप उसको करेंगे। उसमें ये अच्छा है कि एग्री इनोवेट का बंदा रहता है, एक बंदा रहेगा, मे बी मोस्टली अभी तो सुधारता है, अब नेक्स्ट जो भी CEO रहेगा वो रहेगा। डायरेक्टर ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट विल बी चेयरिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर मीटिंग, and there will be an external expert who Agro-Innovate will call, and rest of आपके ITMU का मेंबर रहेगा और आपके टेक्नोलॉजी इन्वेंटर रहेगा और 2-4 आप बुला सकते हैं, उन लोग रहेंगे। तो ये जो कमिटी बनी है, जो बना हुआ है, ये 3-4 चीजों में आपको करेगा। पहले आपकी प्राइसिंग टेक्नोलॉजी जाने लायक है नहीं जाने लायक है ये तय करेगा। नंबर 2 तय करेगा उसकी प्राइसिंग क्या हो सकती है। नंबर 3 ये तय करेगा उसको कैसे करेंगे। एक बार आप उनसे बात करेंगे तो उन लोग आपसे एक छोटा सा फ्लायर मांगेंगे, जैसे हर चीज का एक पंपलेट होता है ना, जिसमें देख के हम खरीदते भी हैं। वो पंपलेट जो है उन लोग अपने वेबसाइट, अपने सोशल मीडिया में डालेंगे। पहली चीज, कई लोगों को मालूम नहीं होगा कि EMR टेक्नोलॉजी भी बनी हुई है झांसी में करके। उसके अलावा उन लोग उसका प्रचार करेंगे और उन लोग कस्टमर खोजेंगे। आपके पास आता है, आप उनके पास भेज दीजिए। और सबसे बड़ी उसमें सुविधा ये है कि आपको MOU बनाने की लीगल टेंशन की आपको जरूरत नहीं है। दैट दे विल सी, you will be only providing the technology, genuine technology, that's all.
ओके सर।
एग्री-इनोवेट टेक्नोलॉजीज का प्रचार कहाँ हो रहा है? हम तो कोई उसके एडवर्टाइजमेंट देख नहीं रहे हैं, या ICAR न्यूज़लेटर में नहीं आ रहा है, या कहीं दिख नहीं रहा है।
आता है सर, उसमें आप उनके वेबसाइट में देखिए, सोशल मीडिया में देखिए, बहुत आता है हर दिन।
Sir, that was lacking with us, and today I think all mentors have been clarified about your ideas and your presentation, sir. Thank you for a nice presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prabhakar. Thank you, Patel sahab.
नमस्कार।
Okay,
नमस्कार,
sir.
thank you।
Then I invite Dr. A.K. Handa from CAFRI, ICAR-IGFRI, our nearby research institute. Dr. Handa is